Welcome everyone to Racing, Pacing and Chasing. It's time for the pacing segment. And Rocky, what a week we had. This is Season 3, Episode 7, and we come off the back of a very exciting SA Cup night at Globe Derby Park. Plenty of stuff happening. 3 group races to talk of and plenty of other features to get through as well.
Yes, we have, mate.
We'll start off with the SA Pacing Cup, which was taken out by Boots Electric for the Sonia Smith-Anthony Butt training combination. And they ran with Quinella as well, with Perfect Stride getting up for second and Majestic Cruiser getting up for third, making a Victorian trifecta in the Pacing Cup.
They did.
And the driver, Boots Electric, there was a little bit of concern about the distance for this horse coming into the race, over the 2,645 metres, but it proved no issue in the end. Good drive, good aggressive drive by Anthony Butt. Really let him out down the back on the final occasion, and he looked very hard to beat over the concluding stages.
Well, the speed map said that it was going to lead.
Yeah.
No question. So if you were prepared to take the chance that Boots Electric was going to run the 2,600, then the $3.80 to $4 it was available was a really, really good bet.
Yeah,
there was no question that the horse was going to lead. There was no question that the speed was going to be on and then turned off.
Yep.
And it gave it every chance to see the distance. And while the second horse was a good run, they were never, from a mile out, the race was there to be won by Boots Electric, mate.
Best of the SA horses was Bella Have Time, running 6th. Unfortunately, we see this problem each year. Our SA horses do struggle up against the
we can
Victorian
talk about
horses.
that later, mate. I've got a bit to say about that. And, well, not just from Saturday night, but I've been banging on about it for the last 2 or 3 months, really, about the change that needs to happen in South Australia if we want to make these events South Australia-centric and help our own stakeholders rather than the ones that come across once a year. But we'll talk about that later.
Yes, for sure. We're going to go to a quick break now, thanks to Air Diffusion Agencies. When we'll come back, we'll have a bit more of an in-depth look of Cup Night. And as we go to this break, we'll have a look at the last 400 metres of the SA Pacing Cup.
100 to go. He's giving it 15, maybe 17 metres. Still in front though. Boots Electric leads away. 28.8 that third quarter. Here comes the big danger. Perfect Stride behind it, running on also with a chance as Majestic Cruiser. Leader getting tired. Went quick early. Boots Electric going to the inside. Perfect Stride. But had a look over the shoulder, left and right. Oh, finds another gear. Boots Electric blows them away in the cup. Second placing Perfect Stride. Third was Majestic Cruiser. Fourth.
Welcome back to the pacing segment. It's now time to have a look at the SA Troggers Cup Group 2 level, $30,000 of prize money on the line, and also be having a look at the SA Derby Group 3 level, same amount of prize money. And it was an interesting race heading into the Troggers Cup. With you got horses like Stress Factor and Just a Molly Archer going in. Just a Molly Archer was a very short favourite for the Andy Gaff team, but was a little bit on the drift later on in the betting. The penny drops for trainer Ray Harvey, who of course took out the Grimmel Troggers Cup here at Globe Derby a little bit earlier on in the season and managed to take out the Gawler Troggers Cup as well. Came back to SA to contest for the SA Troggers Cup against a trickier field. But proved no problems with the horse. The penny drops very impressive.
It was, and look, it drew 9 and on the second row. But again, if you looked at the speed map and you looked at how the horses got away off the front row, to me it was always going to settle in the first 4 or 5. And as soon as it did, again, we keep talking after the event, but $10 on a horse like the penny drops coming off its recent form was huge odds, simply because there was one horse in there called Just a Molly Archer that was $1.70 and drifted, and I thought Ray Harvey's done a great job of this horse, by the way. From Victoria, he's come and cleaned up a fair bit of our cash as well. Stress Factor, he's the one I thought he could have finished closer and probably even made a race of it. They chose to stay on the fence with a lap and a half to go, and that was probably when he had a chance to get off, but he stayed there and was really unlucky at the 500 in particular when he had nowhere to go. and then rattled home for a good second. And he was entitled to run on, wasn't he? Because
Yeah,
he'd been on the
exactly.
fence the whole race, but he was the only horse in the race that would have gotten
Yeah.
closer to the penny drops.
Yeah, the Gaff team, they always have that effect on trogging races when they have
They
a
do.
trogger,
Yeah.
you know it's going to be short
Yeah, they do.
no matter what.
Yeah.
We'll talk about a derby now, and this was
Yeah.
won by Aladdin for the Cormac Racing team, who have
Fantastic.
been great supporters of South Australian harness racing, and
Yeah.
Charlton trainer Greg Norman, who of course was training up in SA up until about 18 months ago. And
Yeah.
I suppose on Cup Night we saw two people who have made new beginnings over in Victoria and have
Yeah.
done great jobs, like Scott Ewan. He
Scott
got
Ewan's
a
doing-
double, and he's
Yeah.
done a great job over competing in Melbourne. And of course, Greg Norman, who's had a lot of success over in Victoria as well.
Well, to me, mate, it proves that if you take your horses over to Victoria, Greg's training methods haven't changed.
Yep.
But it's the way races are run, and it's the quality of horses that you race against week in, week out that toughens horses up to win better races than what you expected them
Exactly
to.
right.
And that's how they turn into Group 1 horses from discretionary class, free fall, if you like to call it, into open Group 3, 2, 1 horses, because they just keep running and running and running, and they toughen them up, and they
Yeah.
become way better horses than what they are there.
Exactly, and the sort of tracks they have on offer in Victoria definitely do help when it comes to toughening up each horse that may
Yeah.
go over to Victoria. And you got like horses like Bulletproof Boy, who Scott Ewing has. Anyone here in SA watching that horse as a juvenile could tell that horse is going to be something.
Yeah.
But if it didn't make that transition over to Victoria, it would be hitting that Country Cups barrier at the moment and not progressing
That's
past
right.
that.
He's
So,
a classic case. You
yeah.
know, he wasn't an outstanding performer here in South
Yeah.
Australia, but with the training that he's had now, if he came
Yeah.
back here, he would start favourite in all of our free-for-all races.
Yeah.
And again, it's just that racing and toughness that gets him.
exactly. Artillery was probably the best of the locals in that race.
Great run. I've felt for the Cavs, they were probably the same as me at the top of the straight, or the 250. It was a chance to run into third spot
Yeah.
at $150, and it would have been great for them with their, they purchase these horses at the yearling sales, and they do a terrific job of finding the right type. And if the horse could have kept on going for another 50 or 60 metres, it would have filled a hole for them, and would have been fantastic. As it is, I think they'll be pretty happy with the performance.
Cavallaro team, of course, invest a lot of time into SA harness racing.
Yeah.
They have a lot of quality horses in their barn.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
We'll take a quick break on racing, pacing and chasing. We're going to close out by watching the last 400 metres of the Derby.
In 27.9, Karen says go, looking for a third derby in her career, and Aladdin has got the magic. Aladdin is off and gone. Here's another one for Karen, and Aladdin's going to lead all the way in the derby here at Globe Derby. Wins by 5 metres. Great run. Bondi Lockdown was second. Third placing a piece of blue. Fourth, maybe out wide. Practice.
Welcome back to the pacing segment. It's now time for 1-800-GOT-NEWS. Simply call 1-800-446-8586 and tell them what you need done. They offer a full service rubbish removal from residential to commercial. It's easy as you point to the junk. Got Junk removes everything you need. So your next cleanup, it's 1-800-446-8586. A big thank you to 1-800-GOT-JUNK for their consistent support of the
He's
show.
been fantastic, mate, for us, and he's getting into ownership of harness racing in a good way with us, having a bit of fun. He's got a couple with Lance that go really well,
Yeah.
so really good supporter of harness racing, Rob,
Yeah.
and always sees the positive side. So if you've got junk that needs moved, and racing people generally have, Rob's a man to call to just get it out of your way. You don't have to lift it or anything like that. His staff do all that, take it away, and then they'll give you a bill at the end of that.
When you see him at a track, it's always good to talk to such a positive, uplifting person about the
good
sport.
fella.
He's always very happy. We'll talk about the APG series that gets cracking this week with heats at Albion Park, Melton and Gloucester Park already run, and then Melton kicks in on Friday night with some star-studded heats. It should be a great series.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they're racing them Friday night and then they're going again Saturday night with their normal Saturday night meeting. To me, it would have been an added bonus for them to throw those. I think there's 3 heats on Friday. Would have been a great time to have those horses on show on a good Saturday night meeting as well.
Yeah.
Fields have come out. We thought that Honolulu Bay would be in those. It's not in those acceptances on Friday.
Yep.
But there's some really good types going around. There'll be interesting racing and a rich series, mate. Very rich series.
COVID-19 has kind of destroyed this series over the last 12 months, which means more prize money will be on offer this year.
Yeah, beautiful. 350 and 210, I reckon. So
yeah,
pretty handy.
Trainer Greg Rogers and driver Kenny Rogers teamed up with father-son duo to take out the Kindergarten Stakes series for the 2-year-olds. Monsieur Still, where it was a Smiling Shark colt that led from start to finish. And the Still Boys Syndicate, who are a great group of lads, are a team of people that Greg happens to work with, and they've got together. It's just a Still Boys Syndicate 2.0, I understand, who had a lot of success with Roxton Still, and have come back with this horse, Monsieur Still, who looks like a very nice type.
They have some luck, and I remember this horse. It was the breeding of it. I thought, I'm not interested in this one. I thought it'd go for 3,000 to 5,000. It went for 5, but I wouldn't have paid 5 for it, and it proves that I was wrong. And, and they're right. They've had and it's got a terrific turn of speed. But Greg's also pretty good at finding a nice horse too.
Yeah, he is, and he's very good at training him as well. And the thing is, like, every time I see that horse, it improves. Like when we saw it first at the trials and gradually working up to its race starts now, it seems like it's sort of a horse that will get better with each start. He has. Just quickly touching Lance Holborn, good to see him back at the trials on Sunday.
Yeah, it was great. We went out Sunday, we had a couple in, and I saw Lance sitting down over by himself, and Rob Curnow and I went over and had a chat to Lance, and he was a pretty lucky bloke as well, and going along and recovering pretty nicely, and the way Dancing Pin trialled on Sunday, I think he'd be pretty happy leading into Saturday as well.
With a smile on his face.
Yeah, you're right.
No, but good to see him back, one of the greatest people you'll meet in harness racing, Lance Holborn. Now, unfortunately, we'd like to say we'll be having a look at the Strathalbyn Pacing and Troggers Cup on Sunday. On Anzac Day, it was primed to be a very good time slot for the club and a very good race meeting, but we can't say that because of a lack of nominations.
Well, it was a good time slot to be on a Sunday, except powers that be forgot that it was Anzac Day for a start. Powers that be forgot that the footy season kicks in and Port Adelaide are playing on Sunday, and out of all the football people, probably Port supporters are the ones that enjoy a punt. So those two factors were huge in anyone looking at the meeting 3 to 6 months out. But for us to not travel, I mean, the Cup held up okay. There was good nominations for the Cup. The Trotters Cup, where I go to Globe a lot, mate, and I hear people all the time saying that they're racing for $3,000 with their trotters, and they've got to sing them around every Saturday and all this sort of stuff. Well, there was a $10,000 race
on
offer at Strath, an hour and 20 minutes away for $10,000. And they stay home. Now, whether you thought the horse wasn't good enough to win or not, it doesn't matter. We have a responsibility as stakeholders to support these country meetings.
Especially since a lot of them are once a year this season. Like
and we chose not to. And, you know, I hear the arguments that the track's too tight, that sometimes the surface is a bit loose. Well, I don't wear that anymore. We race at Globe Derby where the track isn't in super nick all the time. To me, it's all about the travel. To me, it's all about someone told someone, so it just extends through the industry, and all of a sudden everyone thinks that Strathalbyn's too far away, or it's too hilly, or the track's not good enough. To me, they're all just bullshit stories that we want to make up in this industry. Now, we'll travel to Piri, which is another hour, and good luck to the Piri people to get these guys to travel, but the same stake money is an offer in the hills. Now, I know people are going to say that, well, why didn't you support it? Well, we did. We had 6 nominated. I know Shane Loon had 9 maybe. There's 15 of their 40. So who else was going to support the Strath meeting? Now, it goes further than that. There's a committee that's worked hard to get the place looking sharp for Sunday. There's food that's been ordered for Sunday. There's people to employ. They're not going to get paid on Sunday. So there's just so many things down the line that happen when you cancel a meeting, not postpone it. This is cancelled, so Strath will not race there this season, this year. So I don't like it. There needs to be more done about it way in advance by all country clubs to support each other's cup meeting.
Yeah.
They need to make sure that there's plenty of advertising, whether it's just free through social media.
Yeah.
Get it out there month in advance to let people know that we're racing at Victor Harbour or Strath or Gawler, wherever it might be. There's going to be face painting, there's going to be good food, the trainers get free sausages, all this sort of stuff during the course of the day. Whatever it is that you want to promote to bring people to the trots, we have to do. But instead, we kept the SA Cup meeting last week a secret.
Yeah.
Strath, if you weren't in the industry, who knew that was on?
Yeah, exactly.
No one. And now we are saying we'll transfer it to Globe Derby. So to me, that's lazy. That means the Globe Derby people could just come across the road and race at Globe under the Strath title. My thought of fixing that is, because only get one meeting in, you don't want to lose it. Yeah, you can transfer it to Globe Derby, but the Cup field and the Trotters Cup field and the other race that had enough, they stay as they are.
Yeah.
You can't late nominate for the Cup because now it's in your own backyard. You want to nominate for the $10,000 race. Bad luck.
Yeah.
The other four races, put on $2,500 races, then they can come across from wherever they live and race for those.
Yeah.
As long as Strathalbyn don't pay the prize money for those races because they're not theirs. They make the money out of the food because they would have on the day.
Yeah.
So when 2 weeks ago people were saying it's going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, we find out it's more than in trouble, mate. It's gone. And now there'll be a backlash. Max Bees will get into strife with it by not promoting it properly. Mario Borg will be involved. They'll have to argue their point. They shouldn't have to argue anything.
No, they shouldn't.
You know, we're the stakeholders. We should have been up there supporting the club. Your thoughts on it?
And we've seen this too many times before. Like a couple of years back, we saw it with the Whaler Club, who always put on a great day, and had so many people who weren't exactly harness racing people on course. It was just promoted well. You know, you see how the other two codes do it with greyhounds and the gallops, you know, how they promote their cup leading into a race meeting in a country town. It's so well done. I don't understand. Like, our industry's always sort of dropped the ball a bit with social media and promotion in that area. I think, unfortunately, we have the older generation running these committees and clubs, and social media kind of flies under the radar at times. But yeah, more stuff has to be done, more to promote these country meetings. Like, I was hanging up to Strap on Sunday. I was looking forward to the day. Yeah. And I just don't like this idea of transferring country cup meetings to Globe Derby. It just doesn't sit well with me.
It doesn't sit well with me in the normal duration, but rather than lose the meeting completely, I would take it to Globe Derby and make sure that Strathalbyn made a profit on the day.
Yeah.
Okay, because they would have if the race meeting was at home. For me, I've given up tickets to St Kilda and Port to watch St Kilda kick their ass, but now I can't do that. So it's a difficult situation. But anyway, mate, we move on and hopefully we can start to understand that everyone's got to buy into this stakeholder stuff, not just talk about it and make out you're interested.
Exactly right. It's not. I think this has been one of people's main problems in this industry for the last ever since I've been involved. I've always found that people in the industry, it's something that benefits them, they're all for it. Whether it's team players, stakeholders, blah blah blah. But if it's something that doesn't really suit them or suit them down to the T, that's when you don't hear anything. And that's always been the most disappointing thing.
We can get better
from racing. We can.
Top to bottom, and that includes me and you. You know,
exactly. It includes administration, it includes participants, it includes everyone. We as an industry need to improve, and hopefully we can see some positive signs. It's now time for our next segment. 3 Wide No Cover returns this week, thanks to our long-time supporter Steve McKinnery from the MGA Insurance Group. Been protecting Australia since 1975 for your insurance needs, personal insurance, home and contents, cars, horse floats, truck insurance. Give Steve a call on 8841 4200. That's 8841 4200. What do you find this week?
Well, I've got to mention that I found Arctic Pegasus last week.
Yeah.
Said that was due for a win, and
Yeah. And
I'm
the thing
sure
about
everyone-
race, the horses that was coming up against horses that are usually prone to gallops. So
they were,
Yeah.
and it was a mobile, but $6.50 was a very good
yeah,
very good price for Arctic Pegasus. So well done to Max and the team for getting a winner finally with a horse that's run about
60
far too many
something
placings.
starts,
Yeah.
Tim was very happy in his side during the call.
He
Arctic
was.
Pegasus
Yeah.
won.
I thought it was SA Cup.
Yeah. But in saying that, his calls on SA Cup night were exceptional.
They were.
As well, yeah.
They were. Anyway, for my tip this week, mate, I picked one at Mildura a couple of weeks ago. There hasn't been anything at Globe that's stood out.
Yeah.
But there was one a few weeks ago called Romney Brown. It races on the Thursday, and I put it in last week's show. It's a bit harder than the Mildura race, but it's an $11 chance, and I think it's a really good show from barrier 4. But this week I got one from the Derby. Now it was never going to beat Aladdin. Aladdin was too good for everything, but Platinum Stride, another one of the Smith Butt stable, it was held up from the 500 to about the 220, I reckon, behind some tired horses, and it made 10 metres on Aladdin in the last 150. So I think that they'll find good races for Platinum Stride. So if anyone out there wants to follow a horse, put in your black book. To me, it's Platinum Stride. They'll find a race for it in Victoria very shortly.
Yeah, we'll take a break on racing, pacing and chasing. And when we come back, we'll have a lot more segments to come.
Aladdin in front by a long neck. On the outside, trying hard is Bondi Lockdown, is running a great race and still at the girth of the leader. But Karen sitting quietly. Then in turn, a piece of Lou. Behind those dropping out was Major Reason. Around the outside, Artillery gets into fourth placing. Dropping out was Radar Stride. Platinum Stride is a rough first 4 chance. But around the bend, 27.9. Karen says go. Looking for a third derby in her career. And Aladdin has got the magic. Aladdin is off and gone. Here's another one for Karen. And Aladdin's going to lead all the way in the derby here at Globe Derby. Wins by 5 metres. Great run. Bondi Lockdown was second. Third placing, a piece of Lou. Fourth, maybe out wide, Platinum Stride just in front of Artillery. Then in turn behind those, pulling up quickly, Major Reason. Alongside of it, the Sneaky Fox. She ran a good race. Beat Springfield Affair by about 15 or 20 metres. Radar Stride got awfully tired. Did get warm before the race, and the last one them up.
Welcome back to the pacing segment. This is Racing, Pacing, Pacing, and no driver of the week again, Rob.
Nope, I've said this a couple of weeks ago to Aaron that you don't just get a nice voucher for $50 from the Castle Tavern if you're just driving in a normal manner. I think we've got to show some flair out there now to the drivers to earn your voucher from Castle Tavern and put your horse into the race or make a move that maybe someone thought that you shouldn't have and it gets up. They're the ones we're looking for to give you the voucher. So instead of me going interstate like I did last week with Ellen Tormey, but she didn't ring in, so she forfeits that claim as well, mate. So there's nothing going on with last week's voucher as well. So no, we've finished. We're not just good blokes giving away grog, mate. Drivers have got to do their part as well for us.
Exactly right. Now I've heard on the grapevine we've got this new segment.
Yeah.
We're making a Rocks Rambit Rant.
Yep.
There we go. And the world leader in equine nutrition wants a segment, so here it is. Rocks Rambit Rant. That's a little bit hard to get off the tongue, mate.
Well, they rang me, mate. I didn't come up with this. They're one of our good sponsors, and they rang and said they wanted their own segment each week rather than us give them a different one from time to time.
Yeah.
So they said we want something that's a little bit more controversial.
Okay.
And put me in the gun, if you like. That'll probably upset a few people. So. But this week,
you're up some controversy other than you, mate.
Well, let's just go through it, mate. The SA Pacing Cup for 2021 has been run and done.
Yeah.
Right? $60,000 worth of prize money. $55,987 of that went over the border. $55,000. That's 93%.
Yeah.
93% of prize money for that race went over the border. Now, if it was Group 1 horses or even Group 2s, you'd say, well, that's good. At least I can go out to the trots and watch the best horses in Australia go around.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. $60,000 races to the Victorians and New South Wales people are to send over their second and third tier horses. I can stay home and watch them on Sky Channel.
Exactly right.
I don't need to go to the trots to see Boots Electric win the SA Cup and almost not embarrass the locals, but the closest one was 55 metres. The furthest one away was 78 metres.
Yeah.
Now, if that's a good advertisement or a good promotion for SA harness racing, to have our only 4 entrants in the race finish between 55 and 80 metres behind the winner, we're kidding ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay? So I don't want to see this anymore. I don't want to see them just come over here and laugh at us and think, we're heading over to South Australia, we'll get the Derby money, we'll get the SA Trotters Cup money, and we'll, by the way, we'll flog the main one, the SA Cup, and take that home.
Yeah.
So it's not South Australian centric and bashing the Victorians. It's purely and simply, if we want our horse population to grow, our best horses to get rewarded, not in $7,000 races on a Saturday and maybe chuck in a $9,000 one once a month, that only one horse can win, mind you. So we don't want that. We want, to me, we need a series of country cups of horses domiciled in South Australia for the duration of that 6 or 8 weeks, whatever the cups take. And the winners or the place getters build enough points to be in the 11 to run in what we call the SA Pacing Cup from 2022, which might only be worth $45,000 because we can put the other $15,000 towards the country cups. Each of the country cups. Race it with $45,000, all South Australian domiciled horses, and $45,000 stake is still huge for us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I even have a Christmas Cup to that if you could. You know, like Aga Cup at Globe Derby, then run all the country cups and build up to that big final with a point system. Same with the Trotters Cup. You can do Grimmel Trotters Cup and then add all the country Trotters Cup to that. I think this has been something that's needed to happen in the next 8 years. And
I'm not saying that's the right concept, but I like it.
Yeah.
Because I thought of it. So, but I like it. It happens in New Zealand at various stages.
Yeah.
But they need to start planning today, mate.
Yeah,
they need ideas today. They need think tanks. They need to read the internet to see what's going on overseas. In the US, they have fantastic carnivals over there. You don't have to copy it, but you can grab an idea from 4 or 5 different places and say, okay, let's sit down and work out how this will work. At the end of the day, if you say, no, that one's no good, start again.
Yeah.
Don't be lazy and just let it be the SA Pacing Cup worth $60,000. What did you read about the Cup in the advertiser on Sunday? Nothing.
Yeah.
So why do we give $55,000 to Victorians, 93% of a race, stake money to Victorians, when South Australian journalists and papers can't even be bothered promoting the race?
And the thing was, the attendance there on Saturday night as well, a lot of them were just harness people. But it was a great turnout from the harness racing industry, because the float car park was basically full. But the general public weren't sort of there. So especially with the time slot now, if we're going to have this cup in April, there's really no point of trying to make it a spectacle anymore. You've got to reward local horses, because if you've got a horse like Bella Have Time, Joe's a Character, Lochinvar, Hugo, Regal, Scribe, you kind of hit that barrier here in SA where you can't win anything above that $10,000 country cup. The only way you can have an SA horse and win a decent chunk of prize money these days, if you have a good juvenile horse who's good enough to win the Southern Cross Series, and even then Victorian horses find a way to come over and win that. So we really need to find a way to reward a decent chunk of prize money to an SA participant. And I don't know how we do that, but I think that idea has merit, and hopefully something can come out of it.
The first thing out of it, mate, is stop being bloody lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
From HRSA through to SAHRC, whatever. Stop being lazy. find a way to make SA harness racing grow. And if it's only industry stakeholders that are interested in it, make sure that the old people come back, make sure they bring their grandchildren, make sure that the current crop bring their kids along or their brothers and sisters, because that's the only growth we've got. People that go into the footy, they're not coming to the races anymore.
No.
They're not interested. They'll have a bet, but they're not interested in going to Globe Derby Park out there. Not a hope. Anyway, that's my rant, mate.
Yep. There we go. Very enlightening, as usual. I'm sure it's going to be a very controversial segment every week here on Racing, Pacing and Chasing. Will that wrap things up, Rocky? Anything to add before we close
Well, my usual host, can't go past without saying that Aaron and his partner Amy delivered a nice little colt last Friday, and Aaron's having the week off. Called Albie to keep the ABR
Okay, there we go.
generation going. So, and a few of us popped out there on Saturday just to close. A few of us popped out on Friday night, and he loves his country and western singing. You've probably heard him all the time, and he'd done a little bit of a dance for us on Friday night. We've got it. So we'll close with it.
Yeah.
Looks very good. So make sure you watch the show right through to the end, because boy, can he move.
Just quickly though, how long will it take before we see Albie in a little ABR beanie or something like that?
Oh, first time he goes to the races.
Yeah, I think that's possible.
And he'll be taking off knee boots by the time he's 3. And
the family thing, mate.
He'll be driving by the time he's 6.
We'll see him at the pony trots.
Yep.
Well, that completes. We'll catch you here next week on Racing, Pacing and Chasing. This has been a pacing segment. Aaron will be back next week, and let's have a look at this video of him doing a little bit of performance.
Excellent.